Hello and welcome to my channel Current Affairs by Rupali mam, and in this session we are going to discuss Budget Bites by Rupali mam of the year 2022-2023. As you all know that I have already uploaded a video related to this Budget Bites, and but that was for Hindi medium students, and in today's session we will be discussing budget in English medium only, and the content is also in English medium. Alright, so stay till end, as this is very important session for all of you and for all your examination that is related to your UPSC or UPPSC. Alright, so here we will be discussing some of the key features of budget 2022 and 2023. Basically, if I talk about the union budget, it seeks to complement macroeconomic level growth with a focus on microeconomic level of all inclusive welfare. Apart from this, the Union Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, tabled the Union Budget for the year 2022 and 2023. And some of the key highlights of the budget we will be discussing over here. Basically, if I talk about that, what will be the India's growth for this year, that is 2022 and 2023. Alright, so if I talk about the India's economic growth, firstly I will be discussing some of the important points for your examination, and then we will be starting the session. Alright, so this is very important, that what is the India's economic growth that is estimated for this year. Alright, so it is your 9.2%. Alright, what is the India's economic growth? It is your 9.2% for this year. Very important. And it is going to be the highest among all the large economies. So this is very, very important. All right. Apart from this, this budget would be creating 60 lakh new jobs. All right. 60 lakh new jobs to be created under the productivity linked incentive scheme. What is this scheme? This is your PLI scheme, that is productivity linked incentive scheme, and it will be in 14 sectors. It will be launched in 14 sectors. So this is again very important. And apart from this, PLI scheme have the potential to create an additional production of rupees 30 lakh crore rupees also. Alright, so this is also very important. 30 lakh crore rupees will be created after this, after the creation of the 60 lakh new jobs. And the very, very important fact of this year's budget and the most highlighted point is your Amrit Kal. Alright, what is Amrit Kal? This is a period of 25 years. Alright, as you all know that in this year, that is in 2022, India would be achieving the 75th, would be celebrating the 75th year of India's independence. So from this 75th year till 100th year of independence, this period of 25 years would be known as the Amrit Kal. So entering the Amrit Kal, the 25-year long lead up to India at 100th year, the budget provides impetus for growth along 4 priorities. And what are these 4 priorities? We will be discussing in our next point. All right, so what are these 4 priorities? So number 1 is your PM Gati Shakti. All right, number 1 is your PM Gati Shakti. Next is your inclusive development. All right, next is your inclusive development, and next is your productivity enhancement. All right, productivity enhancement is also there, one of the 4 priorities. And next is your financing of investments. All right, these are the 4 priorities of this year's budget. All right, and let's see that what are the key features. First of all, first is focus on growth and all inclusive welfare. Next is promoting technology enabled development. Next is energy transition and climate action. Next is virtuous cycle, starting from private investment crowded in by public capital investment. These are the key features. And what are the 4 priorities that I have discussed just now? This is your PM Gati Shakti, inclusive development, productivity enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, and climate action. And last one is your financing of investment. These are the 4 priorities or 4 priorities sectors of this year's budget that you have to know. All right, if I talk about PM Gati Shakti, all right, in this also there are 7 engines that will drive PM Gati Shakti. And what are these seven engines. These are your roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways, and logistics infrastructure. And logistics infrastructures. All right. These are the seven engines. These are the seven engines that will drive PM Gati Shakti. All right. Apart from this, if I talk about it, what is the master plan of this year's PM Gati Shakti? So the scope of PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan will encompass the seven engines for economic transformation, seamless multimodal connectivity, and logistics efficiency. Apart from this, the projects pertaining to these seven engines in the national infrastructure pipeline will be aligned with PM Gati Shakti framework also. All right, so these are the facts. All right, and I will be discussing some later on also. So next fact that you have to remember apart from this, in like if I talk about it, what are the seven engines? So in these seven engines, number one is your road transport. I have told you just now. All right, so what is the in road transport, what would be happening? So in this year, national highways network to be expanded to 25,000 kilometers in 2022 and 23. All right, let me change the color. I think it is not very much visible to all of you. All right, so what is the road transport target? It will be expanded to 25,000 kilometers in 2022 and 23. Apart from this, for this national highway network expansion, for this national highways network expansion, how much allocation is given, would be given by the government? So it would be your 20,000 crores. All right, how much allocation would be there? It would be your 20,000 crore. Very important for your examination. All right, next, if we talk about the multi-modal logistic park, so there would be contracts that would be awarded through triple P mode in your 2022-23 for implementation of multimodal logistics parks at 4 locations. All right, so apart from road transport, all right, this is your first engine. Second, if I talk about your multimodal logistics park, multimodal logistics park, so there would be 4 locations in which these parks would be set up. All right, there are 4 locations in which these parks would be set up. This you have to remember, and that would be your by the triple P mode, that is public private partnership. All right, apart from this, if I talk about the railways, the third engine of this PM Gati Shakti. So if I talk about railways, so one station, one product concept to help local business and supply chains would be implemented. Apart from this, there would be 2,000 kilometers of railway network to be brought under Kavach, and the indigenous world-class technology and capacity augmentation in 2022-23. All right, and apart from this, there would be your 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains to be manufactured during the next 3 years. All right, so this is very important fact that you have to remember, that 400 new Vande Bharat trains would be going to be is going to be manufactured during the next 3 years, and rest is your 100 PM Gati Shakti cargo terminals would also be implemented. 100 PM Gati Shakti cargo terminals, and that would be for multimodal logistics to be developed during the next 3 years again. All right, if I talk about inclusive development, all right, next is your inclusive development. So in inclusive development, there are again very important sectors like agriculture is there. All right, Cane Betwa project would be there, and Udyam, Ishram, NCS, and Asim portals would be interlinked. So these are some of the facts that we are going to discuss in our next slide. So this is given one graph in which you can see the recovery of economy reflective of countries' resilience. Or it's like if we see if we see that what is the during the first lockdown, what is the GDP? All right, so here you can see that the graph is very much in the downward slope. All right, and GVA is also very much low. But during the second wave, we have increase this this GDP also, and we have a good GVA also. So this is very important for your examination. All right, this you have to remember, that how much progress that that the government has made during the second wave. Next, here we have shown that India economy is staging a sustained recovery. Like if we talk about the COVID-19 vaccine coverage, all right, here this black line represents the percentage of adult population with first dose. So how much percentage of adult population, you can see over here that 93% of adult population have their first dose coverage. Alright, they have vaccinated. And for the second dose, around 70% of adult population is having their vaccine coverage of second dose also. All right, and here you can see that what are the trends in deficit also, like percentage of GDP. All right, in 2021-22, the estimated economic growth is 9.2, and in 2021 it is around 6.2 or 5.8 GDP. All right, so this you have to learn over here. All right, here it is given PM Gati Shakti, and I will be providing you this. Content in the Telegram channel, so you can join my Telegram channel, that is Current Affairs by Rupali Mam, and there you can get this PDF. Current Affairs by Rupali Mam. You can search in Telegram and get this PDF over there. Alright, so in PM Gati Shakti, I have just told you that it will be driven by 7 engines. What are these 7 engines? Roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways, and logistics infrastructure. National Master Plan aimed at world-class modern infrastructure and logistics synergy. If I talk about the formulation of Master Plan for expressways, there would be a formulation of Master Plan for expressways and completing 25,000 kilometers national highways in 2022 and 23. Just now I have told you. Apart from this, there would be unified logistics interface platform allowing data exchange among all mode operators, and open source mobility stack for seamless travel of passengers. And there would be 4 multimodal logistics parks through PPP mode, that is public private partnership. What is the full form of PPP? This is your public private partnership, and with the help of this PPP mode, there would be 4 multimodal logistics parks. This is very important, and this will be asked in your examination. Next point is integration of postal and railway networks facilitating parcel movement would be there. One station, one product would be launched. Extending coverage under Kavach would be launched, and there would be 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains. Again, very important for your examination. Next is your multimodal connectivity between mass urban transport and railway stations would be there. National Ropeways Development Plan as sustainable alternative to conventional roads would also be launched, and there would be capacity building for infrastructure projects also. Alright, so these are the important facts that you have to remember. Alright, next point is that you have to remember over here. If I talk about, there would be e-passport system would be launched. All right, 100% bank 100% of 1.5 lakh post offices to come up the core banking system would be there. All right, these are the important facts that you have to remember. All right, let's move to our next point, and next is your agriculture and food processing sector. All right, if I talk about the agriculture and food processing system, food processing sector, what are the measurements and what are the things that is going to happen this year? So number one is promoting chemical free natural farming, starting with farmers land close to river Ganga. All right, what would be happening this year, that those areas or those lands which are close to river Ganga, that would be there no use of chemical fertilizers would be done. All right, basically there would be natural chemical free natural farming would be going on over there. Next is your promoting post harvest value addition consumption and branding of millet products also. In the year 2022, this would be your year of millet production. All right, this is the this year is contributing to millets. Basically for the year 2016 it was your, I think, pulses year. All right, and but in the year 2022 it is your millets that would be going to promote it. Next is your delivery of digital and high-tech services to farmers in triple P mode, use of Kisan drones to aid farmers, and drones would be there to uh, for the projection of insecticides, for the projection of that fertilizers that would be aiding farmers during their farming. Next is your launching fund with blended capital to finance agriculture startups. Next is very important fact, that is implementation of Cane Betwa Link project benefiting 9.1 lakh hectare farmland, providing drinking water to 62 lakh people and generating 130 megawatt of power. Alright, Betwa Link, this Cane Betwa Link project is very important for your examination. Alright, basically this would be benefiting your Bundelkhand region. Alright, this would be benefiting the Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, both of the states. As you all know that Bundelkhand region is known to be drought prone area. Alright, and this project is very important, as this would be providing drinking water, this would be generating power. So this is very important. 5 more such projects are under process of implementation. All right, and in this Cane Betwa Link project, around 1400 crore outlay would be there. All right, 1400 crore outlay for implementation of the Cane Betwa Link project would be given. This is the allocation, and 9.08 or 9.1 lakh hectare 1 lakh hectares of farmland to receive irrigation benefits of this Cane Betwa Link project. Next is your education sector, and if I talk about the education sector, there would be universalization of quality education, one class, one TV channel program to be expanded to 200 TV channels. As you all know that there are classes from 1st to 12th, and for those classes, there was a plan of creating 12 channels, but this has increased to 200 TV channels now. Apart from this, virtual labs and skilling e-labs to promote critical thinking skills and stimulating learning environment, and there would be a digital university also that will be established with world-class quality universal education. Next is your high quality e-content will be delivered through digital teachers also. Next point is skill development, and in this skill development, digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood, that is Desh Stack e-portal will be launched to promote online training, and startups will be promoted to facilitate drone Shakti for drone as a service. All right. Next point is your health sector, and in this health sector, your national digital health ecosystem will be rolled out. All right, and there would be telephonic health system would be promoted, and national tele mental health program will be launched for quality counseling as well. Next is your integrated architecture, that is Mission Shakti, Mission Vatsalya, Saksham Anganwadi, and Poshan 2.0 to be launched. 2 lakh Anganwadis to be upgraded to Saksham Anganwadis. Alright, and this is the outlay for the year 2022-2023 in crores, like in Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0. Around 20,263 crore allocation would be there. In PM Poshan scheme, 10,234 crores of outlay would be there. In Mission Vatsalya, 1,472 crores allocation would be there, and in under Mission Shakti, 3,184 crores of allocation would be given by the government in this year's budget. All right. And apart from this, there would be 23 mental health centers of excellence that will be set up. All right. This you have to remember. All right. And if I talk about Saksham Anganwadi, there would be 2 lakh Saksham Anganwadis to be upgraded to 2 lakh Anganwadis to be upgraded to Saksham Anganwadis that I have told you right now. Right. Apart from this, there would be Har Ghar Nal Se Jal scheme is also there. All right, Nal Se Jal scheme, that is, and under this, how much allocation would be there? 60,000 crore rupees allocation would be given for this Jal Jeevan Mission, or you can say Har Ghar Nal Se Jal scheme. All right, and housing for all scheme is there. All right, this is one of the scheme. Next scheme is your housing for all, and for this scheme, how much allocation is there? All right, as you can say, PM Awas Yojana, there would be allocation of around rupees 48,000 crore allocated, and these are allocated for completion of 80 lakh houses in 2022-23 under PM Awas Yojana. All right, and this is the fact. Next that we have to understand are some of the all inclusive welfare focus. Like if I talk about Har Ghar Nal Se Jal, there would be 3.8 crore households to be covered in the year 2022-23. Under PM Awas Yojana, 80 lakh houses to be completed in 2022-23. Under PM Divine scheme, this is very, very important. Actually, all these facts are important. All right, in PM Divine scheme, there would be fund to infrastructure and social development based on felt needs of the northeastern region. All right, if I talk about that, what is the full form of PM Divine? All right, here I am writing over here PM Divine. All right, if I talk about that, what is its full form? So it is Prime Minister's Prime Minister's Development Initiative, Development Initiative for Northeast region, for Northeast region. All right, and if I talk about that, how much allocation is given under this PM Divine scheme? So allocation is rupees 1500 crore rupees. All right, 1500 crore rupees to enable livelihood activities for youth and women under the scheme. All right, next point is aspirational block program, aspirational blocks program for development of lagging blocks of aspirational district. Next point is vibrant village program, and vibrant village program is targeting development of villages on the northern border left out from the development gains. And this is very, very important. Again, digital banking by post offices. All right, so if I talk about that, about the digital banking of digital banking by post offices, so there would be 100% of post offices to come up on the core banking system, and digital payments. So scheduled commercial banks to set up 75 digital banking units in 75 districts. All right, so how you can remember this fact? So you can see that there this year is your 75th year of independence. All right, 75th year of independence. All right, we will be celebrating Amrit Mahotsav of 75th year, and 75 digital banking units would be set up under in 75 districts. So in this way you can remember this point. Next is under MSME sector. What is the full form of MSME? This is your micro, small and medium enterprises. Micro, small and medium enterprises. And under this sector, there would be extending ECLGS with focus on hospitality and related enterprises. If I talk about what is ECLGS, so this is your emergency scheme. All right, that is being extended for till the year of till the year March 2023. All right, this you have to remember. And next is your revamping CGT MSc scheme, raising and accelerating MSc performance, that is ramp program will be rolled out, and interlinking of various portals would also be made this year. All right, so this you have to remember. Okay, next point is productivity enhancement and investment in so how the productivity enhancement and investment would be made in this year's budget. So basically ease of doing business 2.0 would be launched, and there would be ease of living. There would be focus on ease of living also. So if I talk about ease of doing business 2.0, there would be trust based governance, integration of central and state level systems through IT bridges would be there, expanding scope of Parivesh portal. There would be unique land parcel identification number for IT-based management of land records. Apart from this, you're establishing CPACE to facilitate facilitate voluntary winding up of companies, and end-to-end online e-bill system and utilizing surety bonds in government procurement would also be made. Next is your EVCG promotion task force. Very, very important. All right. Animation, comics, and graphics promotion uh, task force would be there, and there would be support to 5G under PLI scheme, that is your production linked incentive scheme. Next is your opening of defense research and development for industry, startups, and academia also. All right, so this is important fact that you have to remember. Apart from this, if I talk about the ease of living, there would be modernization of building bylaws, implementing town planning schemes, and transit oriented development. And there would be establishing of centers of excellence in urban planning, providing a battery swapping policy as an alternative to setting up charging station in urban areas. So this is very, very important that you have to remember. All right. Okay, next we will be discussing some other points related to this. There would be some allocation under the PLI scheme, that is your production linked incentive scheme, and this would be launched under 14 sectors. So some of the sectors are given over here, in which some of the allocations is given that we would be discussing. So if I talk about PLI scheme, so there is one of the sector, that is telecom and networking products, and under this 528 crores of investment would be there. And if I talk about large scale electronics and IT hardware, there would be allocation of 5300 crores, and in the sector of pharmaceuticals there would be allocation of 1629 crore rupees. Next is your financing of investment. All right, if I talk about financing of investment, there would be public investment to continue to pump prime private investment and demand in 2022 and 23. There would be introduction of digital rupee by RBI starting from 2022 and 2023. If I talk about the digital rupee, that what would be the name of this digital rupee? This would be blockchain. All right, what is the name? It would be blockchain. All right, and it is a type of cryptocurrency. And if I talk about the blockchain, what is this? This is a type of technology. Basically, whenever there would be a data, it will be placed in a block, and all the blocks would be connected to each other, and in turn it will make a chain. So that is why this is known as your blockchain technology. And under this scheme only, by the help of this technology, RBI would be introducing digital rupee. Next is your prioritizing capital expenditure. So if I talk about this prioritization, your capital expenditure and total expenditure revenue is shown over here like this, and it is increasing. And if I talk about expenditure or the total expenditure in percentage, so it is decreasing over here. It is in downward slope is given. Next is your some of the mobilizing sources. Some of the mobilizing sources. What are these mobilizing resources? Number one is green bonds. To mobilize resources for green infrastructure would be launched. All right, this is very important. You have learned about green bonds. All right, and it is the responsibility of every corporate or corporate that they have to invest some bonds, or they have to invest some money in the for the green infrastructure. So apart from this, there would be infrastructure status for data centers and energy storage system also. Measures to aid investment by venture capital and private equity investment, and blended finance for sunrise sectors also. Next point that you have to remember over here is providing greater fiscal space to states. All right, so what are these? Providing greater fiscal space to states. Next is your enhancement outlay to scheme for financial assistance to states for capital investment. And apart from this, for 2022-23, states will be allowed a fiscal deficit of 4% of GSDP, of which 0.5% will be tied to power sector reforms. So this is very important that you have to remember. All right. So here it is shown also that around 4.6% of GSDP would be tied up to power sector reforms. All right. So these are the facts that you have to remember. Next, we will be coming to our tax proposals. All right, so there are some of the proposals, that is you're allowing taxpayers to file updated return within 2 years for correcting errors. So this is a major change that has been made in this year's budget. Next is tax relief to persons with disability is also launched, reducing alternate minimum tax rate and surcharge for cooperatives. Next is your increasing tax deduction limit to employers' contribution to NPS account of the state government employees. Next point is income from transfer of virtual assets to be taxed by 30%. That is, if you are investing in cryptocurrency, all right, or if you are investing in your digital money, then tax of 30% would be tax of 30% you have to pay over there. Better litigation management to avoid repetitive appeals would also be made, and extending period of incorporation of eligible startups for providing tax incentives. Next is your any surcharge or cess on income and profits not allowable as business expenditure. All right, so this is again very important. And some other facts are also given over here regarding your tax proposals. So number one is your customs administration to be fully IT driven in special economic zones, that is SEZs. Next is your phasing out concessional rates in capital goods and project imports gradually and apply a moderate tariff of 7.5%. Review of customs exemptions and tariff simplification. Customs duty rates are being calibrated to provide a graded rate structure to facilitate domestic electronics manufacturing. Next is your rationalization of exemptions on implements and tools for agri sector manufactured in India. Next is your extension of customs duty exemption to steel scrap and reduction of duty on certain inputs required for shrimp aquaculture. And again, very important, is your unblended fuel shall attract additional differential excise duty. If I talk about the unblended fuel, this is the fuel without ethanol. All right, this is the fuel without the mixing, before the mixing of ethanol. All right, this is known as the unblended fuel. Next, if I talk about that from where rupee comes from or from where this rupee goes. All right, so this is again very important. Like if we are making any budget, so you should know that from where we are earning money and from where where we are investing or where we are we are spending it. All right, so if I talk about rupee comes from, so the major sector, that is the major point is borrowings and other liabilities. All right, so the major segment from which we are earning rupees, so this is your borrowings and other liabilities, that is your 35%. And apart from this, next point is your from GST collection also, it is in number 2 rank from which we are earning. Number third is your income tax or corporation. All right, number third is corporation and income tax as well. Next, from excise duties we are getting, we are earning. And next is your non-tax revenue and customs. And lastly, the least percentage from which we are earning is your non-debt capital receipts. And if we talk about that, where does this rupee goes, all right, or where we are, what are the expenditures? So major, if I talk about the major uh, expenditure, so this is your interest payment. As you all know that if we are borrowing, if we are earning money from borrowing and other liabilities, then if there are borrowing and other liabilities, then there would be major proportion of your interest payment also. So that is why your interest payment forms the major segment where we are investing or where we are spending our money. So this is your interest payment, number 1. Number 2 is your state share of taxes and duties. All right, number third is your central sector schemes. Number fourth is your finance commission and other transfers, that is 10%. All right, apart from this, there are a centrally sponsored scheme and other expenditures also. Next is your defense and subsidies where we are spending money. And lastly, on the pensions. All right, there are some of the allocations to major schemes here we will be discussing, like in the year 2021-2022, like last year, revenue expenditure was your 34,947 crores. But for this year, allocation has been increased to 37,800 crore rupees. Under Jal Jeevan Mission, if I talk about the last year, the allocation was 11 crore rupees, but this year the allocation is your 60,000 crore rupees. Next point is Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana. All right, so last year 5,000 crore rupees was the allocation, but this year the allocation is your 6400 crore rupees. Next is your Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, and if I talk about the allocation in this scheme, so this was your 7400 crore rupees last year, and 10,000 crore rupees would be the allocation this year. This you have to remember. Okay, so these are the some of the facts that we have discussed in today's session that you have to remember. All right, and I don't think that I have left any of the point. All right, so like some of the points that we have left I can discuss over here, like unblended fuel to attract additional differential excise duty of rupees 2 litre from 1st of October 2022 to encourage blending of fuel. All right, this you have to remember. And apart from this, in gems and jewelry, all right, if I talk about the uh, tax proposal in gems and jewelry, there would be 5% of there would be customs duty on cut and polished diamonds and gemstones being reduced to 5%. All right, this you have to remember. And I don't think that I have left anything, and I have covered all the points. So this is the important facts that you have to learn, and I will be providing PDF also, and in my channel Current Affairs by Rupali Ma'am. This is the link, Current Affairs by Rupali, by which you can search me on Telegram, join the Telegram channel or group, and there you would be getting this PDF. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching the session. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. Thank you so much.